much does it cost every month for childcare?
Almost $1,000, sometimes $2,000.
Oh, so I would say during the school year it's pretty minimal. During the summer it's really high. Like a good camp here in Arlington can be $400 or $500 a week.
What is your highest childcare expense and how much is it?
Daycare.
It's $3,100. It's still crazy.
What is your highest expense for childcare?
It is daycare.
Probably a couple $1,000s a month.
Do y'all support the government reducing childcare costs?
Yes.
Yes.
I do. We've been very fortunate. We had childcare from a family member early on, but I don't know how people do it without any help, honestly.
Yes, they need to reduce it so people can work and continue to make a living.
Let's talk about something that affects millions of families out there. It is called childcare. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Dee. We're going to be checking out videos on childcare and how expensive it is. A lot of people are actually struggling with childcare because why is it now the second rent that people are paying and it costs so much? But before we get into this video, check out this rant. Please make sure you click the like button. It helps the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
So I'm doing my taxes and I thought I would share how much daycare costs for 2 kids in San Diego. I have a 3-year-old son who's been in daycare for 12 months out of the year and a 8-month-old daughter who is in daycare for 3 months out of the year. And for fiscal year 2024, we paid $29,662 in daycare. Yes, $29,000 for daycare for 2 kids. And that wasn't even 2 kids for an entire year. That is insane. I know a lot of people ask me questions all the time about how much daycare costs, so I thought I would share. Let me know how much daycare costs other places that are not San Diego because we are looking to PCS somewhere a lot cheaper, hopefully soon.
So I'm about to sign my daughter up for tutoring, right? So I take her to this place. She had an assessment or whatever, and then we got to going over the numbers. And mind you, my daughter's in the 3rd grade. Why was the tutoring $3,600? $3,600 for 144 days of tutoring. And you can either pay the $3,600 up front or you put $1,000 down and then it's like $40 a session after that. $3,600 is insane. Like that's like what we pay for our home. $1,500 less than a daycare bill, which I also have. And then also we have to sign her up for summer camp because I work, her dad works, like she needs somewhere to be while school is out. And that's $2,400 for 8 weeks. So yeah, think about that. Think about that. Like, I never ever felt the brunt of having kids and like the financial stress until recently. You think that like once your kid gets out of a daycare bill that, you know, you're pretty much smooth sailing, but no. There are more ways to spend money on kids. And big money at that. Like I'm not talking about no $200, $300. $2,400 for summer camp. $3,600 for tutoring. $2,000 for daycare. My flabbers be gassed every day.
How on earth are y'all affording daycare? Because I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad. My husband and I went and toured a daycare today. I don't fully know what I'm planning on doing next, but we wanted to make sure that we were prepared with childcare when I figure it out. You know, I've heard all the horror stories. Wait lists are super long. It's really hard to get a spot. We wanted to go ahead and get ahead of it, get them on a wait list. So we tour this place. It's really nice. It's beautiful. It's clean, good staff, good ratios, good safety measures, really close to the apartment. We're feeling great about it. It lines up with all of our online research that we did. Things look good. But a fun thing about most daycares that you find out when you're looking at daycares is they don't put the pricing online. You don't get to know that information until you go and have a tour. So we go, we do the tour, we ask all of our questions, we're very impressed, we love the place, it seems like a great fit. She hands us the packet at the end with the tuition listed on it. For the toddler room, it is $405 a week. That is a little bit over $1,600 a month. I'm sorry, what? Again, I knew it was expensive, but even in Nashville, I feel like the numbers I'd seen before was like $1,300, maybe $1,400 a month on the upper end. But I guess a lot of the research I had done on pricing was maybe like pre-inflation, maybe it was a little bit outdated. $1,600 a month. The way I just had to sit there with a completely straight face, like, yes, that is a reasonable number that does not make me want to throw up at all. I am just shocked. And maybe I shouldn't be, but I just am. Because that is not a number that most people can reasonably pay without a second income already in place. So yeah, we can put him on the wait list, like they have a spot open for him right now if I wanted. There is no way for him to start daycare until I either have a job in place and I'm getting a paycheck actively, or if I'm in school and I already have student loans dispersed in order to pay that cost. Looking at that, it's not surprising to me that a parent would choose to stay home instead of doing all of that. It's very stressful, like knowing that you cannot have daycare until you start a job so that you have money to pay for that daycare. But you also can't start a job without daycare in place. So much like juggling of logistics. It's really stressful. That's just me being horrified. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to figure out.
All right, I just got this envelope from Daycare and it's gonna tell me how much I can expect to pay after our tuition rate goes into effect. So I wanna show you what we're gonna be paying for 2 kids in full-time daycare. All right, for context, before I break down this pricing, I have 2 kids in full-time daycare. So my oldest is 4.5, she's in a pre-K room, and my youngest is almost 3, so she's technically in a preschool room. And actually, both of those rooms have the same rate now. All right, this is the rates for next year. My daughters each go for 5 days a week. The daily rate is $78 a day. And so the total for each child is $20,280, but technically we get a sibling discount. So one of the kids is slightly lower. I think we save $170 a month for the sibling discount, which better than nothing. So that's gonna leave us with a grand total of $3,211 a month. Now, for context, right now I am paying $3,027 a month, but 6 months ago I was paying $3,393 a month. And so recently our rate went down because my youngest daughter moved into a preschool room. And this is the thing about daycare. When you sign up for daycare, they'll give you this tuition sheet and it's going to show you the pricing, and the pricing depends on how old the kids are. So when they're infants, they are most expensive, and when they're like preschool, pre-K, it's least expensive. And so people often budget around this idea that it's going to get less expensive as the kids get older. But what tends to happen is as soon as your kid ages up and the daily rate goes down, the tuition increase comes into effect, right? And so back in September, I was paying $3,393. Right now, for the next 6 months, I'll be paying $3,027. But come next September, I will be back up to $3,211. So year over year, it's only $100 difference in rate because the tuition increase. And this is something that a lot of people don't account for. They don't realize when they're budgeting that yes, the cost goes down, but daycare increases are anywhere between like 5 to 20% a year. And so you really need to bake that in. And so like, yes, infants are the most expensive. They will always be the most expensive. Preschool, pre-K is less expensive, but it's not that much less expensive at the end of the day because those increases, they come into play and they bring you very close to where you were when your kids were in a toddler or infant room.
If you're looking for price authenticity for childcare in the seaport of Boston, come along with me. I need childcare for my 6-month-old son, and I work right next to a Kindercare, so I am going to pop over there. Okay, I'm now back at work. What an experience that was. The woman was really nice. She was fine, the director. As a new mom, I'm just like crazy about the cleanliness of spaces, and it like wasn't the cleanest space I've ever seen, specifically the infant rooms. I just like wasn't overly impressed with that. There was a few other comments that just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. So for pricing, this is where it gets truly crazy, and I know this is a true problem in the United States. Like this is really a legitimate problem that needs to be addressed because people can't afford childcare. So I was looking for 2 days a week, possibly 3. So the price for 2 days per week, 8 days a month, is $2,450 plus an initiation fee. Okay, 3 days a week, 12 days a month is $3,115. All of that is crazy to me, and I'm not undervaluing childcare, but like that is crazy. So my husband and I are like, well, we're hiring a nanny. So if you want to work for me 2 or 3 days per week, give me a call.
You should have known daycare cost that much. As a father of now 3, I knew full well before I even started hunching how much daycare was about to cost. I have 3 daughters under 7, all of which are about to be in daycare for the summer. I saw a video of a dad talking about, we just had our second baby and my wife sent me the daycare prices. How did you not know that already? I knew at the time of conception, I'm about to have a spring baby, which meant my baby's not going to go to daycare till the summer. You know who else is going to be at daycare in the summer? My 6-year-old, along with my 4-year-old. And keep in mind, daycare for a newborn is much more expensive than daycare for older kids. Kids are expensive, and you don't know that before going for baby number 2? Why are you having baby number 2? This shouldn't come as a shock to you. You should already know every expense down to a T because you had number 1 already. And I get it. We all don't have support systems to watch the kids. We all need to work. Not everybody can do the one income household. But before you have, especially before you have baby number 2, you should definitely know the prices of daycare.
Babe, I just got off the phone with my homegirl. She said she just got done registering her daughter for summer camp. Why did she tell me that it was $578 a week? $578 a week to sign her daughter up for this summer camp. And babe, that's not the part that's been flooring me the most. It's the fact that she's been on the wait list for this camp, meaning it's booked up, sold out just about. Meaning a lot of people are sending their kids to this camp. I'm like, why is it so much a week? And I'm thinking about in the sense of a month, how much are you paying out of a paycheck because you're paying this a week? So how much are you, this is a big chunk of money coming out of your paycheck for camp. As she's waiting for me to get done being shocked, she then proceeds to explain to me that that was the more least expensive camp of the ones that she's been trying to get into. The other ones that she was getting into, she said, was like $600 plus a week. That's just the one that came open first. So there's a wait list for all these camps. And I'm like, somebody's making a lot of money. And babe, I know that, you know, these people that's running these camps and these daycares and stuff, that they got to make their money and stuff like that. I do. But I'm just thinking about it like your average working person, almost pretty much $600 a week for summer camp, rounding it up pretty much. That's a lot of money coming out of a paycheck. That's a lot of money coming out of your pocket, period, a month. I guess it's like, at the end of the day, people do need childcare during the summer when school's out. People gotta work. So what do? I know these companies is making a lot of money because it's like they know they're needed. So they can charge how much ever they really want to.
I'm sorry, but how can people afford daycare? If you have 2 working parents, how is it possible to afford daycare full time? We are blessed to have 2 days that my mother-in-law watches the boys, which is wonderful. But we have friends that send their kids to daycare all week, and individually each kid is $70 a day. That means if you have 2 kids, it's $140. So overall, that equals out to at least $35,000 for the year. It literally leaves you with like nothing left. Sorry, but the US system is not made for 2 parents to be working. It literally is not. And some days I'm like, why do I even work? I don't know. And I feel like nowadays it is becoming more common and more accepting that mothers stay home. I'm not knocking on daycares either, because bless their hearts, I could never stay home with 5 kids that are not my own. But even them, like, they don't make that much money. People in daycare don't even make that much money. And you look at other countries, I don't know. We need to start paying people more. We just need to start paying people more. They can afford daycare. Or we just need to make it more accepted that mothers stay home, that they can be stay-at-home moms.
You're working to afford someone to watch your kids so you can keep working. Let's talk about how there are some parents who are actually on the wait list for childcare while the child is still in the womb. And let's talk about the childcare workers that are actually still very underpaid. I know there are a lot of people who say like with childcare there are a lot of taxes that they have to pay and that they have so much expenses, but honestly there needs to be consideration on this and it needs to be maximized, because why does it cost so much? And then it's like when you check and see how much childcare costs, you now start wondering why people are actually surprised that people are no longer having kids. People do not want to have children because this is the reason, because it's ridiculous. Like, do you really think the cost of childcare is like this? Like, people will be so excited and feel like, oh yay, we want to have children, yay, we want to have more kids so we can struggle, like as if you're not struggling alone by yourself. You've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I really appreciate you so much. Don't forget to click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I will see you on the next one. Bye.